we're going to be in Jannah. So now, out of the many places in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about paradise, He speaks about it in different ways and what's going to happen there and so on. This particular one is that when they enter the paradise, so when you go to a resort, and you paid a lot of money, and you expect good service, you feel really good that anybody who's there, the attendants, those people who are waiting, they smile at you, they welcome you. Now imagine you've entered a place and then suddenly all these different people appear and they welcome you. It's like a special possession for you, a special welcome for you. Like Allah was speaking about the istiqbal. There's a special istiqbal for you, right? Which means special welcome for you. And the welcome is Salamun alaykum. And it's not just, brothers, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. It's not one of those greetings where it's just some words. It's actually truly Salamun alaykum. That's what's going to happen in paradise. When a person takes up their space in paradise, every one of us individually, you're not going to be in anybody else's paradise. It's going to be your paradise. Right? It's going to be your real estate. And what does that mean? The last person out of hellfire, that means the biggest sinner to have ever lived in this world that had belief. It's the only difference. He had belief. Just a small iota of belief, but he was literally the biggest sinner ever to live among the believers. He finally comes out of hellfire after being cleansed and washed. And it's a long story, I'm not going to go into that right now, but when he gets into paradise, he is given the size of this world, according to one opinion, and according to the other version of the hadith, is given the size of 10 times this world. All his. I say, how much space is there? Well, there's a lot of real estate up there. Right? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give to the last person. So imagine people who go before that. Right? I don't even mind being the last person. Hopefully before that. But imagine that. It's all yours. Everything there is dedicated to you. So as soon as you get in from the various different doors, right, angels will come in and say, Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. That's just such a beautiful verse. Salamun alaykum. Salamun alaykum. All these angels saying, Salamun alaykum. Peace be upon you. That peace means that you will never be sad again. You will never ever have a failure after this. It will be proper peace. Not just peace of this world which lasts for a short amount of time. And then you have another problem. Right? There's some other aggression. There's some other genocide. Or you achieve something in this world. Let's say you land a good job, and then after that your eyes are on the next level. You get a good car, suddenly there's another car. There's always something more. That's why the true success is the one of the hereafter, after which there'll be no failure, no loss, no distance. It'll be yours and it will just be exciting. So that's the angels are genuinely saying, Salamun alaykum, Salamun alaykum, Salamun alaykum. Now they tell us why though. So now we're all excited. We want this welcome, inshallah, in paradise. How do you get it? The angels tell us there. The reason Salamun alaykum, they'll tell us right there, is bima sabartum. Because of your patience. This peace that we're bidding you and wishing you and welcoming you with is because of your patience. What exactly is patience? So, which is that you have a difficulty, your car broke down, you got a leak in the house, you're sick, some musibah, some difficulty, some hardship. So then you have to deal with it. You're patient, you have to have fortitude, steadfastness. Right? That is patience, that is definitely patience. But that is not the patience that we're looking for or we're asking for if we don't have a problem. In fact, some scholars have even said that don't ask for patience if you don't have a difficulty, because then if your dua gets accepted, you'll get put through a difficulty, you'll be able to deal with it very well, and then you'll get your rewards for that, and with patience you get an upgrade all the time in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll get that, but why do we want that? There's other ways to get upgrades. However, when there's difficulty, we want patience. So just keep that in mind. However, there's a patience that we deal with when we say we, I don't mean our brothers and sisters in Palestine, because they deal with this every day. That for them right now it's musibah, and it's been musibah for a long time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them their relief and their dignity and their honor and their respect. And my dua is Allah's going to give them back a lot more than they've lost, inshallah. Right? However, in the relative calm that we have, with a sense of security and the sense of prosperity, the access to health that we have, the access to products that we have, we, mashallah, in the West, we literally live the lives, if you've ever thought about this, we actually live the lives of the top 10% of the population of the world. If you put the Western countries together, the population isn't as big as India's, is it? Right? Or Pakistan for that matter. I mean, just the Muslims in India are over 200 million. There's more Muslims in India than the Middle East. We're not even talking about Pakistan, Bangladesh yet. Pakistan is 200 million or so, right? There's a lot than Indonesia and so on. So, what we're saying is that what we enjoy in the West in terms of access to various different products and facilities and clothing and food stuff and everything is literally like the cream of the crop, the top 10%. Yes, there are these multi-millionaires that deal on another level, but subhanAllah, we have got a lot to thank for. But on a day-to-day basis, we deal with some other types of patients, right? Which are beyond the musibah patients, that patients. And that's why we're always asking, and I think this verse refers to all those. So there are actually 4 types of patients. One is obviously the musibah one, right? The difficulty one. Yeah, this chair is a bit too comfortable, right? It's too comfortable. You need a harder chair.
I got the hard one. You got the nice.
Yeah,
they're brought especially for you.
It's going to put me to sleep, right? MashaAllah. So the other type of patience is what we call, on a day-to-day basis, for you to come for tarawih, for you to wake up for suhoor, for you to fast, right? Avoid that coffee in the morning that you really feel like, and so on and so forth. Being tired, and so on. Making sure you pray on time, even though sometimes it's cold, right? Sometimes it's far, sometimes it's difficult to get out, sometimes you've got a meeting, and so on. That is what you call sabr al-ta'a. That's patience and steadfastness and fortitude in dealing, in obeying Allah. That's a type of patience. It's a type of resilience, right? It's a type of fortitude. That is sabr as well. That's on a day-to-day basis of people who are trying to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're exercising patience multiple times a day. Did you ever think about that? The highest reward given to anything in our deen is for patience. إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ الصَّلَوَاتُ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. There's multiple verses. Patience. Fasting is rewarded by Allah directly, and the angels don't reward that because fasting is fully patience. What else is fasting? It's patience, it's just abstinence, to withhold ourselves from the normal eating, food, drink, etc. Okay, so that was the first type of patience. The second type of patience is, hey, let's go and have a drink. Friends at work, we're going for a drink afterwards. Can you come? No, I can't come. I don't drink. Not like, I can't come, man. I'm a Muslim. That's the bad way to say it. You sound like, you say, Bechara. Right? If you're ever in that case, and would you like a drink? No, man, I can't drink. I'm a Muslim. Like feeling sorry for yourself. Rather than that, you say, no, man, I don't drink. Drink is one of the worst things that anybody can do. It's literally responsible for so many crimes and problems in the world. See that confidence? You don't have to say you're Muslim. You have to say how bad it is, rather than feeling sorry for yourself. So, no, I can't. Would you like to hook up? Somebody flirts, right? Do women flirt at work? They don't. Unbelievable, right? Send you a text message and your wife goes crazy. SubhanAllah, Allah Ta'ala protects us. And some men actually start indulging and they say, we know our boundaries. Right? And the wife is getting paranoid. This is wrong, right? This is completely wrong. Anyway, so to stay away from sin, to stay away from eating haram, to stay and go on having to look for halal. You know, when sometimes you're traveling and you have to look for halal, and then you have to just rely on vegetarian. Even that you have to be careful, there's no mixture of some sort in it. That is called Sabr anil ma'siyah. Steadfastness against disobedience. We do that. That's happening. Oh, you're not allowed to look at the haram. You go out of the masjid, you're not allowed to look at certain things. You're not allowed to listen to certain things. That is all patience as well. On a regular day-to-day basis, you're doing that. So that's 2 types, plus the difficulty one, that's 3 types. What's the 4th type? Not everybody agrees with this particular category, but some have mentioned this as a category. The 4th type is that in these 3, you continue. There's a patience to continue on the 3. There's a patience to now carry on. Patience against disobedience, patience on obedience, and constantly be patient in the face of difficulties. One is you're patient for a day or 2, but then there's another thing is to be patient forever and all the time and from the beginning. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq for the right patience at the right time, because life is full of patience. That's why when a person does patience in all of these different aspects, by you being in Taraweeh today, 20 minutes before, half an hour before, that was patience. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it. May Allah make the fruits of this be Salamun alaykum bima sabartum fa ni'ma uqbad dar. This is what the angels are going to say. Peace be upon you, absolute safety for you. Right? It's safety and peace for you now because you were patient, because you endured, because you had the fortitude, because you were steadfast, because you are regular in that struggle, right? Because of your sacrifices. All of these words are for patience. That's what defines everything that we're doing. You had difficulty, there were people around you, right? Your friends, your colleagues were trying to do something else. You could have easily got swayed, but no, you stopped. You did not. You had a higher mission in life. You had a higher aspiration, right? You were looking for that. You were looking and waiting for this paradise. So now you get that. فَنِعْمَ عُقْبَ الدَّارِ. What a wonderful abode this is for you. You'll never lose it. When you go to a 5-star resort, you know it's a booking for a week, 2 weeks. How much more are you going to stay there? Eventually you're going to have to go back to the same old drudge every day. No, this is forever. Now when it comes to paradise, I don't want to stereotype. It's serious. Paradise is that you want an apple in paradise, if you like apples. In England, right now in the world, you get your favorite apple, your favorite dish of any sort, and you have a lot of it. You eventually get tired of it. I don't want to see it for a few days, then I'll see it again. Too much of any good thing eventually gets boring in the world, because the world expires. The world is going to expire. Everything in the world expires. Every human being departs. Every object gets old and worn. That's why even taste doesn't remain the same always. However, in paradise, the design is different. So every bite of that apple you have will be a new experience and a new taste. And you can keep eating apples all day. You can keep eating mangoes all day if that's your thing. Right? Or strawberries. I'm keeping it halal here. Right? And it will be a different sensation, a different pleasure, a different taste in every single bite. So you'll never get sick of it. You just want to eat strawberries this week? Khalas. You can just keep having strawberries. Whatever you want. That's paradise for us. But there's a struggle, there's sabr in this world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to, subhanAllah, I don't think anybody else would have been able to sustain the difficulties that we see our brothers going through. What keeps them going? If we didn't have this belief in the afterlife, if there was no afterlife, then what would you be struggling for? It'd be a miserable world. My mother passed away from cancer after struggling with it for 10 years. Rahimahullah. I believe that she's a shaheed, which means a martyr. Nothing compared to somebody who dies in the path of Allah, bombed out of, that's a different type of shaheed. This is a lesser shaheed, but still a shaheed. But I feel that she's in paradise, inshallah, because of the difficulty, the sabr she had to go through. She died during Hajj time, the first days of Hajj. Dhul Hijjah. But that Ramadan, which was just 2 months before that, she completed 7 Qur'ans while having chemotherapy. Right, so I've got great hope in her. She's gone now, I'm speaking positively about her, right? And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her. An atheist whose mom dies out of 10 years of cancer, what's their idea? What's their belief? Poor woman, she died. There's nowhere to go to. You only have this life. It's dead. It's gone. It's finished. It was miserable. What's the point of it? I believe that the 10 years were a struggle, but they were rewarding. They were an elevation. And mashallah, there's a wonderful place to go to now. What is the atheist going to tell me? He's going to tell me, you know what? You're just making yourself feel good. You're just making yourself feel good. So I'm going to say, well, why not? What's wrong with that? Do I want to lead a miserable life? Why should I lead a miserable life? I mean, I should feel that she's gone to paradise and I should feel good about it. What's wrong with that? Have you been there and done that and you're going to tell me it's wrong? I can't prove it to you and you can't prove it to me. But at least I've got enough going to make me believe it is going to be the case. And I'd rather that we entertain something rather than nothing. Like if you have no belief that there's going to be anything at all, I'd rather have a belief and work towards it. So if there is that thing, alhamdulillah, at least we've tried our best. And at least my life has been good because I hope she's in paradise. Alhamdulillah, that's only for a believer, by the way. Only believers can think this way. That's why belief gives you much less stress in this world. Because you got something, imagine a person that's oppressed in this world. The whole world is against them, subhanAllah. The whole world is against them. Nobody at their service. If they don't have Allah, do they have anything else? They just die out of misery. They just die out of depression. They just die out of despondency. But what keeps people like that going is this belief in Allah and the hereafter and the day of judgment. And obviously of Allah doing what He has to in this world. The worldly cycle is not 5 years and 10 years. The worldly cycles. And remember, one thing that I've come to understand from just judging, looking at history, is that Allah has created this world with a balance. Allah says, وَوَضَعَ الْمِيزَانِ. Allah has created, has placed the mizan, which means the scale. There's a balance. You can only dupe people for so long. You can only make people think the good guys are the bad guys for a certain amount of time. And the bad guys are the good guys for a certain amount of time. Eventually, everything in the world rights itself. Because the world can't become more and more and more and more and more and more corrupt completely. There's always a refresh. And inshallah, that refresh is happening. Inshallah. People are understanding hypocrisy. People are understanding these things. Right? And inshallah, the uqba, the ni'ma uqba dar. Inshallah, at least we've got something to look forward to, as much as our loss may be in this world. Because ultimately this world is not the primary world for us anyway. We've got an akhirah to go to. That's the real world. We don't live in this world to suffer. We don't look to suffer. We don't hope to suffer. But if it comes about as it does, well, we deal with it inshallah. And Allah give us the strength. But Allah give us afiyah. Allah give us well-being rather than suffering. But if suffering comes, we have to deal with it. Little bits of suffering come about. But ultimately the hereafter is where the bliss is. So may we, inshallah, enjoy that moment where the angels will come from every door saying, Salamun alaykum. Salamun alaykum bima sabartum wa ni'ma uqbad dar. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Please pray for me. I pray for all of you. Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.